Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Horowitz, NIDCHEI YISRAEL, and he's speaking about what is going to be the plight of the Jews who abandoned Europe and they abandoned the shtetl and the life that they knew, the insulated, pure life of Yiddishkeit, and they went to the far-off lands of America all by themselves with no shuls, no kehilas, no communities, no yeshivas, no place to learn. Kashrus was very difficult to be able to maintain. What's going to be with them? And he writes that it's going to be very bad. They're going to end up transgressing so many mitzvahs, Rahman al-Itzlan. However, what's going to be in the future? Especially the generation that's born after that. Shoma v'hisgadlu, the generation that is born there in America, v'hisgadlu, v'hischanchu, and they grew up and they were raised and they were educated al birkei horim ke'ela, on the shoulders of such parents. Asher yafkiru b'shad nefesh kol mitzvah Torah, that with knowingly and with almost like disgrace and disgust, they threw off all of the mitzvahs of the Torah. What's going to be with the children? These children, they never saw in their life any signs of Yiddishkeit, and the customs of what it means to be a Jew. There was never a chance to be implanted inside of their hearts this concept of kedushas, the holiness and the sanctity of the Jewish religion of our Torah. They don't know anything. Totally assimilated, says the Chavetz Chaim. Halo yizbaylelu legamre, as we're saying, they will be completely entrenched and completely lost amongst the nations and the goyim that they are amongst. What they're going to know what it means to be a Jew. They're going to know that it's special to be a Jew. They're going to understand that Shabbos is kodesh, kashrus is a mitzvah, putting on tefillin is something that we crave, that the neshama needs. Will they understand that? No, they will know nothing, because they were raised in such an environment where they saw from their parents nothing. They were given over nothing in our Masorah, in our Minhagim, in our traditions, in our halachas, in our laws, in what it means to be a Jew. Maybe they'll hold on to the knedlach, to the matzah ball. Maybe they'll hold on to a corned beef sandwich on rye. Maybe, if they're very lucky, they'll know that there's something called Hanukkah and there's some kind of candle that you're supposed to light. Maybe they'll know that much. But says the Chavetz Chaim, most likely they'll be completely swallowed up amongst the nations. They will not remember nor recollect what it means, the great name Yisrael, to be a member of Klal Yisrael at all. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. Completely lost. And what has brought them to all of this? Total spiritual destruction that's going to take place. And Rabbi, if you look back in history, and you will see carefully and clearly, this is exactly what happened. The Yidden who abandoned Europe and they came to America, they were told, you're coming to the Golden Medina. There is no Shabbos, there is no Kashrus, you're going to be working on Shabbos. And they told them, you might as well throw your tefillin away, because you won't be able to put on tefillin when you come there. And there are stories, such sad stories, of the Yidden throwing their tefillin over the sides of the ships that were bringing them into the harbors of New York and in California, wherever they ended up settling in. Why? Because they were told you can't be a Yid in America. What's going to be? What caused all this? It's only because of this vengeful enemy that is residing over Klal Yisrael, the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. There were no tyrants that stood up against them to take them away from the Torah. There was no Haman in that time who said, get rid of the Jews. There was no Paro who came along in that time and said, get rid of the Jews. No. And you can't keep mitzvahs. There were no Greeks that said, we're gonna destroy your Yiddishkeit. V'rak b'ratzayin atzmam. It is only because of their own personal will, and their desire for money, that strengthened itself over them. All the other pleasures of this world of mankind, that they were running after every single day. until they forgot completely all of the obligations that a Jew has, Shenoilad Mizer Yisrael, who is born from the Jewish seed, who is a member of Klal Yisrael. Rachmana litzlan, says the Horowitz, the people did this to themselves. They were chasing after money and tithes and pleasures here in this world. They loved the American world that they saw in front of them. They wanted more and more and more. But it's a steer, it's a contradiction to the Ehrlichkeit, to the Kedusha, to the unity, to the Dveikis, to the oneness with Hashem. And they were willing to throw off thousands of years of Mesorah and connection for a little bit of money over here, and a little bit of fortune and fame and pleasures that they will be able to indulge in this world, in America, or wherever it is that they went into the different continents on the planet Earth. And our job, says the Chavetz Chaim, is not to forget who we are and where we come from and what we're all about. And in Mitzvah Hashem, as we continue to go through these holy words in the Chavetz Chaim, although that we are already 100 and something years past this time that the Chavetz Chaim is writing about, but it's still so pertinent and so relevant. We're all immersed in the world around us, and we have to remember how precious it is to be a member of Zera Yisrael, an Ish Yehudi, a Jew from the nation of Klal Yisrael. Have a wonderful day.